Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you so much for joining. It's the Power of 8 at 8 Eastern Time, that is. And we do have Eileen joining us. How are you doing today, Eileen?
I'm doing great. Hi, guys. How's it going?
So we presented some pictures at the end of last show, but you had a lot more. And for those who might have missed them or whatever, we're going to show some more of those images. Tell us about them. You took a trip and you went to the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah, this is kind of part 2 of the Ascension portal with David Wilcock. My sister and I went to his 3-day Essential Portal conference in Estes Park. And then we stayed at the Stanley and we just ran around the hotel taking random pictures with our flashes on. And though we couldn't see anything with our naked eyes are always naked, aren't they? I guess you could be wearing glasses. But when we looked at them later, all kinds of cool squiggles and wiggles turned up, like photonic flashes. I got a couple that aren't moving so we can see how bright they are.
Oh, awesome.
So I did a bit of research. Remember, the coolest photo was in the bottom of the window, looking in on the staircase, which is the most famous place for the most famous ghost there. It's a woman in profile who keeps turning up. And we kind of got a profile picture of a woman with shoulder length hair and like a white nightgown on, or like an angel wings or something. Well, I looked her up and they say her name is Lucy. And it could be urban legend or folklore. They don't say what year, but she was a 15-year-old runaway who was staying in the basement, and some workmen came in and chased her out and said, "You can't stay here." And then she was found dead on the grounds, frozen to death. So that's the urban legend or lore of Lucy, one of the most famous ghosts at the Stanley Hotel. And we've got lots of pictures to go through that I found possibly of her.
And that is, just for those who might have missed it last week, that's the hotel that The Shining was based on. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I forgot that part. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's the hotel that The Shining was based on. But they couldn't really use it very much for filming. If you research that, they used a couple of different places in England where they made sets. And then they used a hotel, I think, up in... where are the Mormons? Where do they live? Utah? Somewhere around Utah or Oregon. But it was based on this hotel.
Ah, nice. Yeah, and it's a beautiful hotel. We used to vacation in Colorado Springs, and from the Howard Johnsons, we could see it sitting up on the mountain. And it was really nice. It
is a big, beautiful hotel with a lot of outbuildings. Interestingly, it says it was built in 1907 and opened up officially in 1909. But my sister caught a photograph inside of the Stanley Hotel, the main lodge, and it says 1820. So
I saw that in your messages.
I can't figure that one out. We'll take a look at that. Yeah, that's just super weird. We'll show you though. We'll show you the photo with the date on it. If maybe it's not a date, we'll see.
And you so you just looked it up today to find out when it was made, and that's like officially what you see if you look it up today?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I read the brochure that the Stanley gave me, and it confirms what they say online, that the hotel officially opened in 1909, started construction in 1901, was finished by 1907, but they did a grand opening in 1909. So when we see that photo taken in a hallway that says 1820, we're just going to have to kind of put our heads together and figure it out.
Sounds interesting. Let me move to the first image here.
Cool. Okay, I'm ready. We're not going to scare you, not so fancy Nancy. I don't have those scary photos of the people in the bar anymore. I deleted that one. I didn't want it on my phone.
Oh.
It's too scary.
Did she say it was troubling for her?
Yeah, she just moved into a new place and she tuned into our show
Oh
and she
no.
watched that and saw those faces and then she had to go to sleep in a new place that was unpacked. Very scary.
Okay, let me see if I can shrink this down a little bit here. Normally it will fit the screen, but okay, that's fine. It's a huge image, so we can zoom in where we need to zoom in. We have you on
And
the
how do I
steps.
see it? How do I see it on my screen? You talked
Uh,
me through that last time.
yeah, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll make it
That way
much
I can
easier.
see what you guys are looking at.
Okay, yeah, let's see. It's not that one, it's this one. Share screen. And I want to share this one. Okay, are we good now? Whoops.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so I might need to actually scroll out.
So everybody can see that now on the big screen.
Yeah, this is what everybody's seeing now.
Cool. Okay, so that's the main staircase in the main building of the Stanley Hotel. And as you can see, there's no downstairs because you remember we took a picture of it from the outside and we're like, that woman is half in the floor and half out of the floor, so there must be a downstairs, but there isn't. I remembered that was the bottom ground level. And this is where the ghost of Lucy is most often shot and turns up in people's film, but usually from the side, the angle of a profile. So that's
Ah,
just to
okay.
show you the location has no downstairs. And then if you go to the next photo,
Alrighty. Let me pull it up here to this one. All right, so this is
okay, that's me standing outside on the steps that go down, right outside that door. So on the level of my feet is the downstairs ground floor of the Stanley Hotel and that staircase. If you zoom in on that bottom window there, we
that's
can
where we
take
saw
a,
that figure, right?
yeah, that's where we saw the figure of the hair, the nightgown, the angel wings, the profile of a girl's face. So if you go in as far as you can go, can you go any further?
Let's see, this is 300%. Let me see if
Yeah,
this.
take your time. Remember, guys, this is live. We are doing this live investigation of Stanley Hotel ghosties.
Okay, so this is the window that we're about to see
That's it.
the
Yeah.
figure in, and we can see there's
You can
nothing
kind
there.
of see through. I
Yeah,
kind of see like a little bit of I think that's a bit of the staircase railing we're looking at in the top of the photo.
right.
Maybe a little bit of the carpet below it.
But the floor is right here because your feet are right here. So we're
Yeah.
looking at
So
the
we're looking at the floor and we're looking at the baseboard of the staircase railings. Now, if you go to the next picture and zoom in, that's the exact same window, the exact similar position, but my sister's in the photo. And this is where we got our image of the profile of a girl or a woman with her back to us, and she's looking to the left.
okay.
And she has shoulder length brown hair and either a nightgown or like angel wings.
Okay, so let me skip this over.
Yep. So you can see there's the floor of the Stanley. And that's the same exact window.
Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more here.
And it was taken moments before the picture with me. My picture actually came afterwards. Yeah, that was the order.
Trying to get really
So
far
we'll
in here.
just,
Okay, here we go. This will be
yeah,
cool.
take your time. See how much you can zoom in on it. Can you get any more zoom or is that it?
That's it.
Okay, so on my camera, it's a little more defined. And what you see are like her back, which almost looks like white angel wings. And then there's like brown shoulder length hair in the dead center of the circle. And to the left on my camera, which is a lot less pixelated, you can see a peachy skin with kind of a nose and a chin.
Like right in this area.
Looking to the left, but she's got her back to us.
Exactly.
So is that one coming out okay? Because I'm still seeing it now on a little small icon because I'm live with you. I'm not getting
Oh,
the
you
full
can
screen.
click it. You can actually click that with your mouse and it makes it bigger. I forgot to tell you that part.
Shane, what would I do without you? Okay. Yeah, so can you kind of see the peachiness of the cheek, the eyebrow, maybe, the hair?
Almost looks like she might have one of those really thin headband things that people
I
used
see
to
a
wear.
headband too. I see a headband too. But you know, I mean, lights play tricks on our eyes. So Shane and I are not saying this is definitely a ghost. We're saying it could be.
Right.
It could be an unusual image, spiritual image.
Well, let me zoom back out a little bit because people have to remember that this is the floor right here.
That is the floor. So that would be putting her through the floor. It would be, she'd be in the distance because there's a little hallway next to the railing.
Probably.
Or in the steps.
Right.
But definitely half her body in and half her body above the floor.
That's interesting.
It's interesting. It is really I mean, from there, I can see it now. I can still see it.
Yeah.
I would think it was somebody inside the window in like a bride getting married, and we just caught her in the window.
That's so wild.
That one's like the best image, I think. So I did some digging. I found out about, ooh, sounds gross, digging, right? For ghosts. I did some research and I found out about Lucy. So now we're going to move to another picture of Lucy. It's very famous on Instagram, but it's made the Huffington Post. It's all over online. Just search Stanley Hotel ghost photos, hit images, and this one will pop up all over the place. So he did a wide angle of the same staircase.
Right. So you can see the front desk and everything. So he's actually standing in the doorway that you guys were just
he's in that doorway. And his is scarier than mine for sure.
Yeah, well, it's all black, so that's
I know.
automatically scarier.
He said nobody was on the stairs when he took the photo, so he didn't realize he'd caught anything until he developed them. I don't know if this is a digital photo or an old-fashioned developed one. But if you zoom in on the face, you'll see a bit of a profile. Like this time, it's like she is facing us, she, he, it.
They actually put a red mark over where the head is, though, didn't they? Isn't this actually?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. They put a mark right through the head.
It looks like she's facing across the staircase like this.
Yeah, and the white is like a collar. And then behind her, it says, there's another image of a child behind her. Do you have the capability to just go online and search the image? Can you pull up Google and then type in Stanley Hotel photo? And I wonder if we can find it without the red lines.
Let me pull this down here. Let me switch to this image.
Yeah, I saved that one too. So there we've got mine.
Okay.
And I feel like the face is a bit transparent, the hair is a bit transparent, but I feel like the white wings or shoulders are quite solid, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is much better.
Okay, good. Much better. And it's even been like lightened up a bit with definition so we can see the face more, see the brown hair, see the profile image.
That's like almost like a choir gown with the.
That's like a choir gown. And somebody said there's a child behind her, but it looks like angel's wings to me.
Yeah, that's what I
thought. Wings?
Sure does, yeah.
Can you send that to me?
Sure.
Because it's better than the one that I found. So are we seeing the same image, but from the back? with her looking to the left instead
Oh.
of facing
Well, I
her
don't know. With
right.
yours, it looks like it's completely a white outfit. Let me see.
Oh, well, what if the wings were white? And what if the wings are blocking the black dress and we can only see the wings and the white collar?
Right.
It looks like a white nightgown, but then it looks like wings with those humps, right?
Yeah. That's wild.
It really is. Same length hair, same color hair.
Okay.
And then my daughter found an image that we're going to pull up next that's actually in the Stanley Hotel that we didn't see. That's making reference to their resident ghost. And it looks like somebody superimposed a child in a white nightgown sitting on those steps. And then when you zoom in on it, it says Lucy, the ghost of the Stanley Hotel, because that is the staircase.
Oh, okay.
Oh, somebody's drinking a coffee. I can see a Starbucks cup in a reflection of the photo.
Yeah.
And then from there, because my daughter found that image for me, see, that child is much younger than the images we actually captured.
Yeah.
That child looks like 7 to 9, and the one that we captured is definitely a teenager to a young woman.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how we found the name Lucy, to look up the legend of Lucy at the Stanley Hotel.
So this is this an, oh, okay, I guess this is like glass. It looks like a mirror, but I guess it's
glass. And the Stanley is renowned, or is it renowned or renowned? It's famous for the sound of children playing on the 4th floor. Well, that was a pretty picture.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so let me pull this one up now. Close that out. Okay, the stream's doing better. It was doing a little.
Okay, so this is just a random hallway shot. And at the end of it, my sister caught a lot of dripping rods on the left. Now, there is something there, like either an air conditioning grate made of metal or possibly a window. But it doesn't really explain the drippy rod-like effect, which is when you catch some of the images of plasma as a photon, you just get the circle. We'll see those later. And when you catch them moving, see, I've been doing some ghost research. Ghosts, and I don't even know what that is. More rods, probably.
Try to get perspective there. Okay, so it's right at the end, just
the door is
a little
open.
cluster of them there.
Yeah. And
almost
when the
like little music notes.
I know they do. You could almost play those, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Except they're going backwards, right?
Yeah.
They should be going the other way.
Yeah.
So what happens is you get the image of something that isn't completely there, whether it's interdimensional or, it's people. What is a ghost? We don't know what a ghost is, whether you believe in them or not. They leave a photonic spark. And when they move, in the second you take that picture, it can create a rod of movement where you see where they move from and to in that 10th of a second. Isn't that cool? So I guess if we left it open for 4 or 5 minutes, the screen would be full of Etch-a-Sketch designs of where these photons are moving. They're moving around. Wouldn't that be cool?
Kill the lights and leave the shutter open, you'd probably get all sorts of stuff.
Oh, I don't know. You just want to go there and do that now.
Yeah. I was just doing that outside last night. I was doing or a few nights ago where I was getting the stars. I was leaving the shutter open for 4 seconds and getting the stars really bright. I was actually seeing stars in the image that I couldn't see with my naked eye. So it was really lovely.
That is so cool. I love seeing those. So that's a really good. I don't know what that is to the right. It's quite interesting.
And
it's almost outlining something.
Yeah, here too, it almost seems like something's kind of like a glowing figure, right?
Yeah, but there's no definition.
No, ghostly.
Okay. Very, very plasma-y too.
Okay.
So if you look to the, you can leave it like that. You see my orb in the wallpaper, to
Oh,
my
right.
left or to the right as you're looking at me. Yeah. And do you remember all our cool pictures came out either white or green?
Yeah, that's sort of greenish too.
I got nice lizard eyes there, reverse though, white pupils.
Right. Reverse lizard eyes.
Yeah, reverse lizard eyes. So yeah, I can kind of see that. I can see that green little circle.
Yeah. Let me close this
It
out.
doesn't seem to be moving. It seems to be rather stationary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it looks like it the camera moved up a little bit, but that still stayed pretty
Okay.
okay.
We seem to have been followed around because we did this with such joy and such love and such fun. We missed the tour, which was a good thing because I've heard, the tour is all about The Shining. And we're like, darn, we missed the tour. It's like 11 o'clock at night. And my sister and I are running around the hotel with our cameras, just shooting everywhere, laughing, giggling, trying not to wake people up in case they went to sleep early. Oh, this one, if you go down, there's her orb moving on that white wall.
Oh, right
And
there.
yeah, unfortunately, I deleted the photo before or after it, which shows that wall without an orb.
Oh, you can see it though.
I tried to get it back. I was like, oh, we could have done it before and after. And
So
I deleted it going,
you
oh,
guys
there's nothing in this shot.
you guys are running around giggling and people are in their rooms frightened thinking, we hear ghosts out there
Yes!
giggling.
We hear ghosts up there giggling. Yes. Oh my God, we had so much fun. And I met a young woman. And we were taking a picture of room 217, which is supposed to be very famous for the chambermaid who was like blown up in the room by natural gas, but they said she was struck by lightning. And everybody like famous has stayed in room 217 because she still haunts that room. She was like a chambermaid there for like 50 or 60 years. They took really good care of her after she was blown up and fell into the basement, was blown into the basement and broke her bones and stuff. And I met this woman, and she's like going, "Hi, how are you?" And I'm like, "We're just taking ghost pictures." And she went, "Oh, me too, but I didn't find anything." And I said, "See that? See that? Look at that picture there. See that room there, Shane, with the closed doors?" I said, "Oh, that's the opposite one. So they're identical. Right behind me is an identical set of doors." I said, "Go in that room. If you go in that room, you're definitely going to feel something if you're sensitive." So we were still running around halls taking pictures, and she caught up with us. I said, "Did you go in the room?" And she said, "No, I couldn't." And she showed me her arms. Her hair was standing on end. She had like goosebumps everywhere. And she said, "I was alone. I couldn't step foot in that room. It felt so negative." And that's the only room I felt negative in too, which is the one that we showed last week.
Okay,
Remember?
so it's the one behind us in this, or
It's one behind me, and
it's
if there's an identical one in front
across
of
from
us, but
this door, right? Okay.
the scary one was left open like a foot, and it had all kinds of activity in it, and it didn't feel as light and playful and friendly as all the other rooms. So if you zoom in on that spark on the floor on the right-hand side of that old steamer chest, that's like a steamer chest that you would use on the Titanic.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. It does look like one
They're
of those little.
huge. Yeah, they turned it into, it had names on it on the other side. So look, there's a little sparkly dragonfly.
Oh, wow.
And you can see that there's no cord. It's not a lamp cord. A piece of fluff or lint would not sparkle and shine from a distance of, how far away did I take that photo? About 10 feet, maybe?
Yeah.
It would have to be metallic to pick up the flash. But you can see the little photon in the middle of it and kind of zipping around. And my sister, I brought her dragonfly earrings for that trip with citrine
Mm-hmm.
made of silver. And she saw dragonfly art. We took a dragonfly photo, and something else happened. She was getting dragonfly references through the whole trip.
Mm, that's really neat.
That's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really looks like it's there.
It looks like it's there. And I mean, some people go, "Oh, it's a piece of string tied into a dragonfly," but it wouldn't show up. It has to be metallic to catch a flash, or it has to be photonic, giving off its own light, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah, it's in
plasma
the
is
shadow.
photonic.
It's like
Yeah,
half in the shadow and it's still glowing. So
half in the shadow, half on the non-shadow, and really far away. I'm really standing quite far away from it, like at least 10 feet.
that's amazing. Yeah, I would say
I
if there was something there, like the bottom of the chair, you see the shine, but that's from this light, and that's in the shadow of that. So
Yep, you occasionally get a little bit of shine on furniture, like the edge of that chair.
yeah, but still, it's brighter, or at least as bright.
It's
That's glossy.
definitely defined. Like
Yeah.
the chair light is more of a shimmer, sheen, glow, not a defined shape.
Mm-hmm.
My sister found that. I didn't even see it. I was like, oh, there's nothing there. And she goes, wait a minute, what's that little speck of light? And we zoomed in, and on my camera, it's much more defined than on, you know.
Yeah, I think when you send it through Messenger, it probably optimizes it, so it brings the
Yep,
quality down a little bit.
a little bit. Not
But I can
much, just a
definitely
little
see
bit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a dragonfly now, like a baby, a little one.
Yeah. Okay, let me pull this next one up here.
So I think the ghosts or the energies were following us around. I really do, because we were having so much fun.
And it's
Now
this that we're
this,
looking at
okay,
here?
okay. Before we actually zoom in on that little white worm, right? Plasma
Yeah.
worm. Um, After last week, and I said I have 1,000 pictures in my phone, and none of them have ghost images. I went through every photo, and guess what? I didn't find any ghost images anywhere except in the haunted Fort Zachary Taylor in Key West. So we went on a ghost tour. The lady said, put your flash on, leave it on, and just take random photos, especially around people, because they like to hang around people's energy.
So is
So
this is like the grounds of the place of the
yeah, this
hotel?
is right outside Fort Zachary Taylor in Key West. It's from like, oh, I can't make up the year because I can't remember. It's pretty old. Let's put it that way. It's pretty old. And if you zoom in, there's two photonic lights. One in front of the lady in red, and a worm. Okay, there's a worm over there. Oh God, they're all over the place. Look.
Yeah, I was looking
Look
at
at all
these
the little
two.
photonic worms.
Oh, there's another one back here. It looks like floating.
Yeah.
It might be part of the fence, but that looks like it's floating there.
But did you see the ones in the grass too? Really faint?
Yeah.
And then go down and you'll see a flash of light. Zoom in on that in front of the lady's shoe. That's an example of the photonic plasma not moving. So that's how bright it is. See? It's
Yeah.
just an orb. And then when it moves, it creates a squiggle, a drop, a rod, a worm, and even a dragonfly through its movement.
That's neat. And it's
Isn't that
like,
cool?
yeah, and you can, what I find interesting about this is that this one's still and this one here is
Yep,
going this
moving.
way and these are going this way. So as far as it's they're under their own movement rather than the movement of
They
the camera.
are, and I'm wondering if those three are tied together because the shapes are more similar than the other rods we've seen. So it's almost like a triangle. And the reason I say that, and it's separate from the one that's not moving, is the next photo is going to be a triangle of photons on the grass. So are they somehow, those three, kind of related into one blob?
Let me pull this up.
There we go. It's almost like what we just saw.
Wow, in a triangle pattern.
In a triangle pattern with three little dots looking like a moth.
Yeah.
Two dots, two or three dots. I don't know.
That really looks like a moth over there, but you can tell it's not. I mean, it's just a moth shape or
It's part of it.
upside
Yeah.
down heart or something.
And we just saw that a second ago, moving around, making three little worms in front of that guy.
It's really neat.
I can't explain any of this. I think the fort's from the 1800s. It's a, again, famous haunted place. So in all my images, the only places I got photonic images and worms and rods were in haunted places. Now, this is my daughter's boyfriend. He gave me permission to show this because we were in Key West in the Haunted Shipwreck Museum, and he has a Geiger counter in his hand. Wherever he went, it kept going off. So we were all laughing at him, going, "Oh my God, Jaquan's finding all the ghosts. See, it's going off. It's like lit up." And then we never realized this came off my daughter's camera. It's because the ghost is right over his head. That is not a hole in the curtain to the outside light, which was a street light looking through the curtain. If you like zoom
There's
in on it,
another one here too.
Yep.
Let me see if that's in the view, because that's, let me, I need to scoot this over so they can see it. There's another one right over
because we have other pictures of just the curtains, and all they had was the crack down the middle and no holes. There weren't like circular holes. So if you zoom in, it won't let you go in anymore. It's a really bright photonic light. There we go. Now get to it and you'll see. See how much brighter that is than, say, the strips next to it, which are just light from the outside lamp? Mm-hmm. They're not as intense.
Get over to this other one too.
That seems to be a mirror of it. That seems to be part of it. And if you look down, there'll be flashes of light across the floor. And in all the other photos, there's no flashes of light. The light stops at the edge where the curtains end, and those flashes are more photons moving.
Let's see. I think I need to go this way. Yeah.
That's a photonic movement. It's not a light off the floor. Because we examined a whole bunch of other photos around there, and we were like, no, there's no more flashes of light except for that one picture with Jaquan standing there. And then there's another one, I think, above it. So his Geiger counter was going off constantly because the ghosts were with him, above him, and around him constantly. They just liked him.
Probably like making that thing go off. Because they're like reacting.
We all had one in our hands. We all had one. And then if I walked over to Jaquan, mine would go off. And so he was just laughing. Everybody was laughing because everywhere he went, his Geiger counter for high electromagnetic energy kept going off. And if I got close to him, mine went off.
Now I wonder if there's an app for that.
Wouldn't that be cool? I don't think they're very expensive. Like if you go on eBay or Amazon, you can buy them. Now, this one's just weird. This is an old elevator in the Stanley Hotel, and there's a plate of brass behind me. And if you zoom in more to the left and down, I swear to God, there's a little baby dinosaur looking back at you. Can you see it?
This is all the way left.
Yeah. Do you see it over my shoulder? Do you see two little eyes? One of them is very glassy, black and beady. Two little nostrils.
So like an eye and an eye, and then a little nose here?
Yeah, go down further. Go further. There, go down. There's a nostril. Go over. Go over. There's a nostril. And go down low again. Go down again. Down to go to your left.
Oh, right here.
There you go. That's a mouth. And can you go up and see the perfectly set eyes? Does anybody?
Oh, okay. So an eye, a nose, or the nostrils, and then the mouth.
Yeah. Can you see where the eyes are, though? They're very like glassy and beady, and they caught the flash. The flash is actually glowing in the eyes. Can you see the eyes go up? Go up. There.
Okay.
Do you see that? And then go over.
And that's the other one?
Yeah, that's the other one.
Wow.
Does anybody else see that face or just me? Because it's very cute. In a scary way. In a scary way, because it shouldn't be there.
Right. I could probably make it a little bigger, too.
Oh, cool. It's kind of like looking at clouds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it.
So to get the whole face in, there we go.
I see the eyes.
See the shine that you're talking about on the eye.
Yeah, I see the shine on both eyes. I see the nose and the nostril and a little bit of a mouth behind my shoulder.
Right.
I hope it's friendly. I don't know what it is. It doesn't look particularly scary. It looks kind of smoky and wispy. Because that's not my hair reflecting there. That is not my hair. If you look, you can see the reflection of my hair where that ends. Right there.
Right.
And then you see this like smoke.
Interesting.
Oh, I hope that one's okay.
Okay.
Because if you look at the next picture, we just caught the brass plate with nothing in it.
Oh, well, shoot, I did the wrong thing there. Oops, I think I sent it to you again on accident.
That's okay. There you go. I do see a little bit of purple in it, maybe from the flash. I can see a little bit of me reflected in it, but I sure don't see those eyes, nose, mouth. Anybody see anything? So you can see that the image is not really there. Looks a little smoky above my head.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little purple thing above my head. Yeah, go down. Yeah, what's that? What's that purple?
April says, I see a large Catman scary thing behind her.
Oh, no, don't tell me that.
Did you have
give
something
me nightmares.
purple in your hair?
No, I had nothing purple in my hair.
Because I can tell this purple's from your shirt, but this appears
Yep.
else.
Yep. I can see like the strap of my shoulder bag.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of purple photonic something going on in that image. There it is.
There's even some up here I didn't notice before.
Yeah, I think that's more of a photonic plasma that
Could we have an eye, and lips trying to.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I hope. Okay, you're all going back. You're all left at the Stanley. I didn't bring any of you home with me. They're all in the elevator waiting for you guys to go. Oh yeah, I can see it too. That's kind of creepy looking. There's like a big smile. Yeah. And a big eye and a big nose, and then like the purple things, like its third eye in between its eyes. Oh, yeah. April, I see the scary thing. I see it. It's like looking at clouds, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that. We were doing that today, man.
Okay. Were you looking for like animals and clouds?
No, it was just this big cloud, and it was poking up behind. It looked like a big man holding a tray, and I was like, look, do you see the big man holding the tray up there? And my kids were like, cool. Yeah, let me close
isn't it awesome when somebody sees what you see?
Yeah.
So Shane, did you see my little baby dinosaur or not? Did you kind of see him? I just want confirmation or not. Did you kind of go?
Oh, yeah, I saw.
You can kind of see it? Mm-hmm. Like a 3D baby dinosaur over my shoulder?
Yeah.
Just the head. Here's a picture of the Stanley. That looks like, yeah, the main building, because it's the big one. And if you zoom in the bottom left, it says 1820. So my sister Leslie was like, I'm taking a picture of that. Hi, Leslie, if you're watching tonight. See? Weird. What the heck? 1820 Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, right?
Oh, maybe the address. Is that possible?
We want to look it up real fast? I don't think so. I don't think it, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's
see. Let's see what the address of the Stanley is, because it just looks like 1820 Stanley Hotel, photographed by blah, blah, blah. By the way, guys, if you can see cleaning stuff over my left shoulder, it's because we have a puppy. So I put vinegar and water in one of them for when she pee-pees on the carpet by accident, and the other one is bitter apple or bitter aloe to get her to stop chewing woodwork, furniture, books. And I leave it out all the time because she's only 16 weeks old now.
333 East Wonderview.
See? Leslie caught that. She's like, why does this photo say 1820? And everything we looked up, oh, there's that bar. Yeah, that sure says 1820 to me.
Oh, with the glowing eye people.
Yeah, they're gone. I've deleted. Delete. I kept the other guy, though, because he didn't look so scary, and he was in front of the green worm on the photonic worm on the table by the clock. Yeah. He wasn't that scary.
Just the fact that he was staring made it kind of creepy.
I know, from behind me through a mirror. So, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of weird, unless it meant this is the 1820th photo that we've printed of this hotel. You know how they like number
Oh, yeah.
artistic stuff? Like prints.
Yeah.
But then it'll go 1 of 1820. Is that what it says? It's like, this is number 3 of 820. No. There's always like a slash through it.
Unless it's 1 of 820, maybe.
Maybe.
But I don't think so, though. It looks.
I don't think so either, because usually they number lithographs and prints, but not photographs, because you can make as many of a photograph as you like, right? Or do they number photographs too?
And there's no way that's a 9. That's definitely an 8.
That's definitely an 8. So we've got a little bit of a woo-woo Mandela effect where everything says that it was built in the early 1900s, and we have a photo in the hotel that says 1820.
It sure does it. It dresses it up when you can see that red roof. It just doesn't look as good in black and white.
That's so true. It is a beautiful place. And apparently very, very haunted. So
do you think maybe it's just on being that it's on the mountain? It's got, you know how rocks and minerals seem to be, I don't know, more, maybe it's like a ley line or something. I don't know.
They sure do say that when you get over a ley line or over a lot of quartz, it increases the ghostly activity, because we know the souls move on, but what do they leave behind? A memory, a feeling? Like, could there be a graveyard there, an ancient graveyard of some kind? Because it's at the bottom of a canyon in front of a mountain. So maybe some people. Oh yeah. So I kind of think the dinosaur in the elevator looks like our new puppy. If you just look at the face.
I can see what you mean now, yeah.
And I think because it's 2 hours difference, right? We were walking around midnight. We were in that hotel at midnight. That was 2 a.m. This puppy was sleeping. What if she was astral projecting over my shoulder? What if we caught my puppy behind me in the brass because she's, very attached to me and I went away?
We have no idea, do we?
I mean, the eyes are the same shape. They were really weird shaped eyes.
In The Shine?
Yeah, that's funny you call it The Shine, because in The Shining, that's what The Shine is. People who can see ghosts have The Shining. They have the ability.
Ah.
So that dinosaur in the elevator over my shoulder, baby dinosaur, kind of reminds me. Same shaped eyes. Very unusual.
Very cute.
Oh, look at her. Her name's Mocha. She's actually my daughter's puppy. So that, it had the same expression. The little dinosaur behind me, my shoulder, had the same expression.
Oh, they love tearing stuff up, don't they?
Yeah, she tore it up. She tore up a black piece of paper, a food carton. And she's looking very guilty. There's her little pee pad that she always misses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love little dogs.
So is that the last one? Anybody else in the comments think that little baby dinosaur was my puppy, astral projecting, going on the ghost hunt with me? Anybody else think that might be? Like, they look similar? They had a similar expression? Similar shaped eyes? Similar distance from the nose to the eyes?
I hadn't been watching the chat. Yeah, she just checked, and it was 1909. Critical break. Checked. Yes, very odd. Lithographs are numbered.
So lithographs are numbered, but not photographs, right?
I don't think so, because that looked like a print. I mean, you can just print them and print them and print them, right? I mean,
yeah, it's hard to number them when you can print as many as you like off a negative.
Interesting.
So those are all my photos. That's all I've got. My daughters, my sisters, and mine. Because I last week said I have 1,000 photos in my phone and none of them have the drops, the squiggly worms, and the orbs. And then I looked, lo and behold, there were a few, but they were in haunted places. They were in the Haunted Shipwreck Museum, setting my daughter's boyfriend's Geiger counter off everywhere he went because they just like hung out with him. They were over his head and in front of his feet and stuff. And then at the fort, at the haunted Fort Zachary, we got kind of triangular blobs. Now, what's interesting is I've had those photos since Christmas, but we never noticed because we didn't know what to look for in them.
Okay, I killed my camera to help it run a little bit faster, so I think it's better now, though. It's
Okay.
still a little slow. I don't know if it's been glitching. I haven't been able to keep an eye on it. It's in
Do you
the
think
red,
it's me
so.
when you hook up with my computer, or am I the same as everybody? Because you talk to so many people every week. Is it always the same?
It is. Sometimes it's okay with us. It really depends on my two different computers I've got going on here. Whichever one starts
I think
lagging.
it depends also on the electromagnetic activity, whether it's high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because of the low sunspots, the grand solar minimum. I think that interferes. And I'm not in the greatest place for Wi-Fi service because
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
very close to the Gulf and I'm very close to the Everglades. And I'm in a building with 20 apartments, lots of steel. And so the service is okay. You know, it's not brilliant internet.
Plus, everyone else's Wi-Fi in an apartment could
Yep.
overlap and cause all sorts of problems. I can see that happening.
So the last thing before we do a meditation was just to end the Ascension portal. So this is really Ascension portal part 2 and a haunted photos at the Stanley Hotel part 2. It's exactly what we did last week, but with new information, new photos. It's interesting. I listened to your show with Lori Lothian this week
Yeah.
about talking about an ascension date, a date for the event, a date for the shift, a date for the ascension. And I've listened to you and Michelle Wolf talk about it too, and loads of people, Michelle's opinions, and
Allison Co.
Allison Co.
It comes up a lot.
Everybody's like Aluna Ash. She's got a cool channel. I don't know if Magenta Pixie put a date on it. I've got to check in and see her latest videos because people are really kind of like, maybe we shouldn't put a date on it now and just let it flow. Like maybe the ascension that we're feeling, the 5D Earth, are actual measurable waves coming in either from the galactic core, the galactic sun, a gamma ray cloud, a photon belt, because the Schumann resonance is rising and falling. And we feel tired or we feel energetic, we get sleepy, we get awake, we have ringing in the ears. So we have a lot of the symptoms of changes in our energy around us, whether it's magnetic or gamma, whatever. But maybe those waves are just like pulses that are constant. They come, they go. They come, they go. And
Speaking
if we
of pulses, I was
uh-huh.
going to say, speaking of pulses, I was watching a Leak Project earlier, and they're detecting the sound wave signals coming in, a repeating sound. And it
Awesome.
sounds like, pew! It just, they think it's
Pulses.
like they think it's a neutrino or something, or
Oh, cool.
whatever
Well,
it is. But
this kind of fits with what I'm thinking because the old Vedic Sanskrit says, you know, that we go through periods of sleeping, our consciousness, and periods of awakening in the 26,000 year period it takes our solar system to move through the entire galaxy once, like a clock, right? And wouldn't then, if we're getting hit with gamma rays from the center of the galaxy, which supposedly has a big black hole or a big pulsar or a big central sun, it would come in waves. They would come and go, they would ebb and flow. So that means that there isn't like, boom, one event, it's all done and dusted, we're in 5D, but it's a process of waves transforming not only the Earth, but our DNA into lighter bodies or light bodies. And the Vedic say it takes 2,000 years to get through photon belt to reach that state of evolution or awakening. I'm not saying that they're right, but what's interesting is the Ascension portal with David Wilcock. He used to say this was going to happen in 2012 at the end of the Mayan calendar. And he's like, okay, I got it wrong. No big deal. You know, everybody's forgiven him and moved on. But now he's talking about proof from science. He would show us the studies that we are in a magnetic cloud, that the whole solar system is heating up, getting all the planets are getting brighter, right? Because they're gravitationally being pulled in a magnetic cloud that they're pushing through. So as they push through higher electromagnetism, it kind of presses on them and creates more heat and more more luminosity. There's a University of Wisconsin study that shows how much brighter the planets are now than they were like 20 years ago. Then he shows from NASA that the closest star, Alpha Centauri, is 3 stars. And one of them is called Alpha Biloxi. And it's already had its solar flash, which is, some people call a solar kill shot. But it's a solar flash. It gave off, boom, like that, in one go, energy 1,000 times stronger than its normal release of energy. Okay, so it's releasing energy, then boom, it gives off one shot 1,000 times its normal energetic release. And he says that that is our closest star to Earth. It's still so far away. I can't give you how many miles or years it would take to get to it. You know, we could look that up, right? And that's hit some kind of a edge of this magnetic cloud and made it give off the shot. Well, that supports those who are saying that there's going to be a solar flare, a solar flash, or I don't like the words, but a solar kill shot. That sounds really, really negative. We'll just call it a solar flare or flash, because we get lots of little solar flares. And he said he doesn't know how long it's going to take for Earth to hit that wall in the cloud. But what he's describing is the photon belt, and he's not using the Vedic, Hindu, Sanskrit traditions anymore. He's trying to find evidence of that in the Bible, the Quran, and the Mayan calendar and the Mayan religion.
Yes.
So that could be our event. That could be like, boom, it's pulsing as we move through this photon belt or magnetic cloud. And then eventually our sun could flash, go boom.
That's what I was thinking. When that energy gets here, it could set our own sun off and sort of amplify it. It could be the trigger that's needed to trigger it all. You know what I mean?
But you see, what's really good is we're all in a really good place, because in our hearts, we are now heart-based instead of mind-based living. We're in the now, and we're sharing the love and the forgiveness and the light, and we've become heart-based in our living. So whether it occurs now, I was joking with Michelle and Michelle in last night's stream that you did, that if the Vedic tradition is correct, and we have 2,000 years of this, and we just entered this in 1960, roughly, the true Aquarian age is like 2,000 years long, then we might need a lot more lifetimes to get to the end of this ascension. We might not see it in this lifetime, if it truly is a process of pulsating waves that increase and increase and increase. And I have my own theory about this. I think I shared it last week, but I'm not sure. But if you look at the lifespan of a sun, of a star, at some point, Mercury and Mars were in the sweet zone. And at some point, life could have thrived on those planets. And then what if this is the evolution of the sun in the solar system, and when it finally goes boom and flares within the next now to 2,000 years, there is no life on Earth, but all life has emigrated, not in physical bodies, but has moved spiritually to Venus, to the next planet. And now now Venus is in the sweet spot of the sun, because the sun's energy keeps growing and growing and growing, and then life goes from planet to planet to planet to planet to planet. And the end of the ascension process of this solar system and this sun, the solar logos, is when we get to the furthest planet in consciousness finally makes it to the furthest planet in the solar system, because now that planet is in the sun's sweet zone for life.
The Goldilocks zone, they call it, yeah.
Yeah, the Goldilocks zone. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, could this be could this be the ascension of a star, of a sun? And we're just part of it. We're the life form. We're the highest consciousness life form in the solar system, moving from planet to planet to planet to planet to planet as planets become habitable.
Until we're finally not physical anymore, not material.
Yeah. Like, what would we be like? I know they downgraded Pluto. What's the furthest planet out there? Do you know, Shane? Is it Uranus? Was it Pluto?
I'm not the person to ask.
Me neither.
The big planets are...
I know Saturn's not the last one.
I think it's Jupiter, Saturn, and then Pluto, but Pluto is downgraded.
Uranus, Neptune.
We're the third, and then there's Mars.
I think it's Pluto or Uranus. Either one of those are the furthest out. So by the time we evolve through lifetimes on every single planet, oh my God, you could be talking billions of billions of years.
Yeah, Neptune.
Is Neptune the furthest out?
Yeah, because that's the one that's like greenish or bluish or something, and we didn't know for a long time, but some of the ancient texts knew it was that color, and it's like, how did they know way back then if they didn't have...
Exactly. Well, maybe they were on Mars and they got super, super advanced like we are now. Ha, 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 right? We're so advanced. And maybe they emigrated to Earth, their souls, their consciousness, when Mars no longer became habitable in a 3D life form.
Yeah.
So eventually maybe we evolve out of 3D life forms and into light body light forms. But it might not be just the evolution of Earth. Boom, it's 5D. All done. Done and dusted. It's over. We might have to go through that again with every single planet.
Okay, so it's Neptune. Pluto used to be the furthest out. So.
Okay. I'm kind of sad they downgraded Pluto. I like Pluto. It has a big heart on it, if those pictures are true. Have you guys seen pictures of Pluto with this massive heart on the side of it?
No,
Seriously.
I haven't seen that. That's neat.
Yeah. So in my mind, I think Pluto will always be a planet in my mind, even though it's small.
Yeah, it didn't change anything, just them labeling it, you know.
Yeah, it's just an opinion. And I never hold to their opinions anyway now. None of us do. We have our own opinions on everything.
Right.
So the reason I'm bringing this up is David Wilcock has changed his Ascension event. He thinks it's a shift because that's how they describe it in Law of One. He's changed it to evidence for it will be quite obvious by 2022, and it will occur by 2028. And he thinks it's going to be a solar flash, and it's going to change life on the Earth, and the goodies are going to go up to a dimension, and the baddies are going to get a restart, where it's like start over as single-celled organisms.
Unless they're real negative, then they get to graduate in the negative, like
yes,
Genghis Khan or whatever it was.
Yes, if they're super, super, super negative, then they get to go to a dimension version of Earth that's special for them. So it's so negative that they can just like wallow in it for 1,000 lifetimes, right? Bye, Hillary. Bye, Donald.
Oh goodness.
So
okay, it's already actually been an hour. Do you want to get to this article before we? Okay.
I do. Now, if you go to the article, I just wanted to show this because as soon as I heard David Wilcock say, "Oh my gosh, you're going to see evidence of the Ascension by 2022," I remembered reading this article last year. And if we can pull it up, I'll just summarize it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can drop the link in the description for people to go and read it themselves. But science magazines, and I got it out of the Daily Telegraph in England, which is a pretty reputable science section in that newspaper, says that 2,000 years ago, 2 neutrino stars, I think they were, collided. And the collision created a fantastic burst of energy. And that light from the collision of 2 stars around the year 2,000 or maybe 1,800 years ago is going to start reaching our night sky fairly soon.
Oh, 1,800 light years away. Yeah.
Okay. And then by the year 2022, we will have a new super bright object in the sky. So a lot of people would have gone, oh, Nibiru, there's Nibiru.
Right.
But they're saying that this is how long it took for the collision, the light created by the collision to reach Earth. So it's going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. It's going to reach its apex of brightness by 2022, and then it's going to start to fade away again, and it's going to get lighter, darker and darker and darker and darker and disappear. A lot of people would say, oh my God, that's proof of Nibiru. Nibiru just came, we saw it, and it went away, right? But they're saying it's from the collision of two stars, and David Wilcock is saying that by 2022, we'll have evidence of the shift, which will then occur by 2028. And everybody gets to go off into this is like Goldilocks and the Three Bears with the porridge. You get to go to the good planet where everybody's good. You get to go to the middle planet where everybody's good and bad, just like what we've got here. Or you get to go to the bad planet where everybody's really, really bad. So isn't that like hot porridge, cold porridge, and porridge that's like right in the middle, just right?
Totally. Yeah,
so don't worry about bringing it up on the screen, but it's from a Science Digest.
I did bring it up. I didn't bring it up for you, but I had it up for them. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I thought you were looking at it on your screen.
Oh, I've got it. I've got it on my screen too. So what do you think? Can we drop that into the description link if people want to like be aware and not let event people and shift people and ascension people fool you and say, look at the sky. The ascension is occurring because this bright light is coming. At least
we can't rule out the possibility that this is their cover story for that.
You know what? It could be a cover story.
I'm always suspect with everything. I'm like, this could be them covering for Nibiru.
Nibiru. Yeah, how do we say it? Nibiru or Nibiru?
Yeah, Nibiru is good.
Yeah, they could. This could be their cover story, but a lot of people are going to use this for Ascension and use it for the event and use it for the shift. But everybody here on this channel will know. We'll be like, we knew about this years ago. We knew this light was coming.
Oh, you know what? I don't have it open on this screen, so I can't copy and paste it in. I can add it in later, though.
Okay.
Well, it's right there at the top of the screen.
Awesome.
Alert.com. So, yeah, I'll have to just paste it in later. Okay.
We might be the very, very beginning of the event, the shift and the ascension and the rapture. We might be like the first humans to really see it happening with the Mandela effect and the rainbow clouds and the rainbow trees, whereas other people wrote about it, but they didn't see it. They didn't have the evidence of it. So we could be the beginning of a very long process if it truly does take like 2,000 years, which means we're going to have a lot more lifetimes here experiencing it. But think of next lifetime, if that's true. I'm not saying it is, right? Think of how much more we'll know when we come back here, because I'm sure we retain our level of information, even if we don't retain the memories of who we were, where we lived, what our name was, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm going to chill on the beach and wait for it to get down to that last lifetime the next time around there.
I guess if this is true, then the really important message would be get on with your life here, enjoy it, and make it the best life in 3D possible, because it might take a while. It might take a while to get to that rainbow beach.
Yeah, it is a process. I totally believe that. Okay, I just added the link in the chat. I sent it through myself.
Cool.
To myself on, and then I'll add it in the description.
The first thing I thought it was Nibiru too. I thought, aha. Nibiru is going to become obvious in the night sky, and then it's going to go away again on its path. And they're just saying, oh, that's not Nibiru. Two stars collided 2,000 years ago, and it took that long for the light to reach us.
Right. Okay, I have it under science link in the description below, you guys.
Cool. Awesome. So should we do a quick meditation? I know we've been on. Well, yeah. I guess we started like 8 minutes past. We always start at 8:08 or around there. So I was thinking of doing a meditation to kind of round out all this Ascension Portal talk that we've been doing for 2 weeks, and your disclosure meditation. while I was gone. And I thought I would connect us to our ancestors to heal them and forgive them and love them, because our ancestors are in our DNA and they're in the cells of our body, because our cells come from Earth and everything's recycled. It's a closed system. You know, somebody once wrote down that you could be breathing the breath that Cleopatra exhaled, or the breath that Hitler or Napoleon exhaled, because nothing escapes our atmosphere, including our exhaled breath. Isn't that a weird thought?
Yeah.
You know, Caesar, you know, think of good people, bad people, famous people, us. So, and then also kind of love and forgive our future selves. And then our love and forgive our past selves. We'll see how it goes, because it just flows by itself. And in that way, if we are holding and loving and forgiving our ancestors, our past selves, and our future selves, right now, in the now, we should be able to make the best possible decisions for our personal best possible outcome in not only this lifetime, but in all of our lifetimes moving forward. Because it's really one existence, right? But perhaps it's one existence with many different chapters. And the chapters are lives in different planets, this planet, different dimensions, whatever.
Totally.
So should we give that a go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. How many have we got in the room? Does anybody know?
86.
Awesome. Okay, I'm just going to put my video off, and then I'm going to take a drink of water so that my throat doesn't dry out like it kind of did last week halfway through, but I was traveling, flying.
No
That's
problem.
probably why. Okay. And I'm going to try to switch it up a bit, because it's getting a bit boring if I always do it exactly the same way. Because when you do these meditations, it's really important that you ground yourself and that you relax and that you get into your heart space. And then once you do those three things, you're in a safe place, you're grounded, you're in your heart space, then you can do your intentions through meditation. But I always have to kind of tick those boxes and make sure that we're grounded and we're in our heart space before we really get going. Okay, so Shane, just tell me, because the computer's in a slightly different place than it's ever been before. If you can't hear me, please just pop in and say that I need to be a bit louder.
Nope, it's perfect.
Okay, awesome. So first off, let's all just get really comfy, move around and stretch your neck a little bit so you can just sit and relax and be still for about 10 minutes. Make sure you're not driving or walking or doing anything like that, or eating. And take a deep breath in, hold it. And when you exhale, exhale out any stress in your body. And take another deep breath in, hold it for just a few moments, and exhale out forcefully any negativity inside your mind, your heart, experiences of the day. And one more deep inhale. And when you take that breath in, let your tummy extend, because you're filling up your lungs completely to capacity. And when you exhale it, exhale out any negativity around you in your workplace, your home, your environment. And now change your focus to your heart chakra and start to gently breathe in through your heart and exhale out through your heart. And as you continue to breathe in through your heart, you're taking in the love and the light of the universe, of the creative universe, of your higher self, and of Source, of God. And as you exhale that energy out of your heart chakra, you're mixing in a little bit of your love, your forgiveness from your beautiful heart center, and you're sending that out to the world around you. So breathe in through the heart Exhale out through the heart. And this time, I want you to imagine a silver or golden cord going down from your root chakra all the way to the center of the earth, where it goes out in all directions, like the roots of a tree, grounding you to the beautiful, healing, loving earth that we all belong to. And now as you breathe in through your heart chakra, when you send that energy out, imagine a light shining from your own heart. And tonight, let's all make that light green, like the green chakra of a bright, clear crystal emerald residing in our heart space. Breathe in a white light through your heart from source, and breathe out a green light from your heart chakra to the rest of the world. Breathe in love from God, and exhale love from your heart. And now let's send that energy as we breathe it in. White light, love. And we exhale green light, our love. Let's send it to our family members, those that we love and those that we have difficulties with communicating with sometimes, those that we hold dear, that we can tell our deepest secrets to. Let's send them all our love from our heart chakra. Breathe in, love, and exhale, love. Now we're going to go straight to the intention tonight of tonight's meditation while we continue to breathe in and out from our hearts. We're going to imagine our ancestors. Some of us might know exactly who they were, where they came from, and how they lived, but most of us probably just have a rough idea of where our physical family ancestors came from. But we also know that they may have had pretty rough lives, surviving, finding enough food, finding enough work, surviving the politics of the day, the social systems of the day, perhaps the wars, perhaps the natural situations with volcanoes and earthquakes. But we also know that they probably had a lot of love and a lot of light in their lives through their families, perhaps their children, their friends, their neighbors. Maybe they had a real strong sense of community because everybody pitched in to help everybody out. So we're just going to kind of imagine our own personal ancestors. And now we're just going to send them love. We're going to send them love from our heart chakra and say we really, really, really appreciate everything you did in your life that actually led to my life right now. I'm here, and I'm here in this beautiful physical body on this amazing place we call Earth because you were all there before me. And you had your children, and your children had children, and they had children, and eventually, through thousands and thousands of years, it resulted in me. So we're just going to send them our healing love, our light, our appreciation, our gratitude, and we're going to send them forgiveness. And we're going to say, whatever happened in the past that you did in order to survive, I understand and I forgive you. And whatever genetic codes were passed down into our DNA today, we're going to forgive that too. We're going to let it go. And we're going to say that if the genetic codes no longer serve me now, here, then thank you for your service, but I'm letting you go now. And we're just going to sit for a couple of moments in that blissful state of gratitude, love, and forgiveness of our ancestors and our ancestors' DNA. And when you're ready, imagine your past lives without going specifically into any single one of them. Just imagine all the possible lives you may have experienced here on an earth plane in 3D, in 3 dimensions. It could have been 1,000 lifetimes. It could be 1,000,000 lifetimes. We really don't know how to count how many lifetimes we may have experienced to get from where we began to where we are today. And what we're going to do now is just thank ourselves. We're going to say thank you in all of my previous lifetimes. Thank you for your struggles. Thank you for learning. Thank you for contributing and participating and giving to your community. Thank you for giving to your family. Thank you for giving to me, because without you, I wouldn't be who I am here today. And I really love who I am, and I really love where I am today. And that's all a part of and because of all the various different lifetimes I've experienced before today. And now send all the previous versions of you and different aspects of you, send that gratitude. Send yourself in all your different lives love. And most importantly, send yourself in all your previous lifetimes and incarnations forgiveness. And now, when you're ready, we're just going to move forward in time, because time is really a circle or a loop, and it's all happening now. It's all happening at once, but in order for us to experience it fully and to understand it, we have to stretch it out so that we can see it from moment to moment to moment to moment. Because seeing it all at once would be overwhelming, and it wouldn't be a good experience. We wouldn't learn much from it. So let's look at all your future yous. Let's look at all the future versions, lifetimes, incarnations on Earth, off of Earth, somewhere else. Perhaps another galaxy, another planet, perhaps another dimension, perhaps in a light body, perhaps in no body at all. And we're just going to send all of our love and all of our appreciation to all the future versions of you and say thank you so very, very much from the bottom of my heart for being you and making the best possible decisions at all times for the good of all concerned. And know that you have now reached a place in this lifetime where you are heart-centered. You are living from your heart. You are thinking from your heart. You are breathing from your heart. You are expressing from your heart. And that means that all future moments of your existence, from moment to moment to moment to moment, from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, you are always going to be heart-centered from this moment forward. And that means you will always make the best possible decisions for your best possible outcome and for the best possible outcome of all concerned at all times moving forward. So just give yourself, which is your past selves, your future selves, and especially give your present self right here, right now, a big hug, a big kiss, and great appreciation. And in that appreciation, give yourself love, and give yourself forgiveness for any mistakes you may have made along the way. And when you're ready, just start to kind of move a little bit. I always like to move my neck because it gets a little stiff because I tend to hold it still. Move your arms and shoulders. Sit up straight and take a normal breath in and out. And let your grounding cord go from your root chakra straight into the earth where it disappears.
You know, excuse me. You know what's funny is that about 3 times I got chills. Like,
really?
Yeah, and I think it was like, you know, and then I got to thinking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I feeling what I did, what I was sending to my past self and my future self in the now, because it's still me? You know what I mean?
It's still you.
That's pretty wild.
It is when you think there is no time, because your past self is doing stuff now and your future self is doing stuff now. And maybe when you got the chills, you just like what you could feel it. You could feel that they were actually doing things now.
I didn't realize it until at the end when we were loving ourselves in the now, and then I felt it again. I'm like, oh my gosh, when I was feeling it before, it must have been, it didn't matter what version of myself I was loving, sending love and forgiveness and all that too. It was like, I don't know, 77 people watching.
I'll tell you what, when you felt those chills, your microphone came on like 3 times. I thought you were going to say something. Listen back just to the meditation and you'll hear your microphone come on.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, it just like clicked in and then it went out. And I'm like, okay, he's not going to say anything. I'm going to keep going. Yeah, like 3 times. I'm sure other people in the chat heard your microphone like, come on. And we're like, okay, is Shane going to say something? And then no, went off again.
No, it must have been some kind of other signal, because I had Hangouts muted and then I had my mic muted as well. So I had 2 mutes
listen
on.
back and see if I only perceived that. Maybe I'm the only one who could hear this like microphone coming on. Or if it was like when you were feeling chills, like you're like, oh yeah, at that moment I felt this. And then we'll see if there was an electronic circuit coming from your heart through your computer into my headphones. Seriously.
That's wild. Yeah, because we didn't have any anomalies. Oh, did you hear the voices I was talking about?
Yes. And guess what? They carried on because we went to Jose's Hangouts right after the last meditation, and her voice had the voices coming in only when she spoke. And then I listened back to mine and you could hear, it was like a party line. We kept saying she couldn't hear it, but everybody in the chat was like, God, Jose, it's like a party line. In the old days, you'd pick up the phone and before you could call someone, you'd hear little voices on it. But you couldn't hear what they were saying. You could just hear like 3 or 4 or 5 people talking in the background.
Right. That's what I was saying. It sounded almost like it was just conversation in a restaurant without all the clanking of the dishes or whatever.
Yes.
And it was coming through whenever you spoke. So just so
whenever I spoke.
Yeah, that's what we were hearing last week. Did you hear voices this time, Kate? I was talking about last week. It might have happened this time. I didn't notice. But
I wouldn't know unless I played it back because I could only hear it on the playback.
But that was wild. And I kept thinking, I was like, maybe your TV's on or something. But you said your TV wasn't on or anything. It didn't sound like a TV. It sounded like you're in a restaurant.
TV's always off. You know, we might put it on 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. And the same thing happened to Jose in Hangouts immediately after our show. It only happened when she talked. She couldn't hear it, but all of us on the other end were going, I hear a party line. I hear the voices. And I was like, yeah, that's what Shane was telling me during my meditation 20 minutes ago.
It's awesome.
It's almost like a portal. It's without getting too weird and woo-woo, right? It's almost like listening to a portal of people, but it only happens while I'm talking because I'm in a deep meditative state, leading a meditation where, you know, a large number of people are doing it at the same time. It's almost like
the energies.
Yeah, combining the energies. It's like opening up a positive portal, a portal of love, a
Yeah.
portal of our angels, our portal of our guides, who knows what. And I think it's really cool to realize that our bodies are made of the earth and we have ancestral DNA. And now we've cleared it and cleaned it. We've thanked it. We've said, thank you for your service. And now, boom, this is the new us. This is the us that moves forward into a 5D earth.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. So
cool.
I've got, I'm going to be on with Jose tomorrow. So,
Awesome.
But other than that, I probably,
what time?
It's going to be right after the Twin Flame Divine Fire radio show. So I think that would be 2 Eastern, 3.
Okay.
Or 3 Eastern, 2 Central.
Cool. Super
But
cool.
Awesome.
I will be listening. I will be there.
Awesome. So lots of love and light to everybody in the chat. I want to thank Eileen for coming on and
thanks, guys. Thanks, Shane.
Photos and everything, and we will.
Yep, I loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you guys have any suggestions, email them to us. And
yeah, because we're done. We're done with Ascension Portal, and we're done with Haunted Hotel Stanley. We're done with that.
Awesome. Oh yeah, and go check out Sherry Overprotected's video. I'm going to go check that out. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, Sherry, thank you. She just sent me the coolest video. I can't even describe it, on Disney, NASA, and moon landings. That was awesome. Thank you. I just watched it before the show.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Orb family. Let's see. Go watch.
I think she wants to come on your show to show her orbs and tell her ghost stories. And if you guys do, just, promote it so I can tune in.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely coming on. I think we're waiting for her daughter's schedule or something like that. But yeah,
cool.
So I've already got the images and everything, so we're all set.
Thanks, Sherry.
All right, lots of love and light to everybody in chat.
Lots of love to everybody.
Mwah. We'll see you
Thanks for the photos, Leslie. That's my sister. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.